Before we begin, just listen. Not to understand, but to notice. Let the stories form its own images. Let the feeling settle. You don't need to do anything here. Just stay with the story. Something in it already knows you. Everyone else already moved on. Not angrily, not dramatically. They didn't slam doors. They didn't explain themselves. They just stopped. You noticed it slowly. At first, you told yourself it was nothing, just a busy week, just timing, just life happening. But then the silence stayed. Messages didn't come back. Plans stopped forming. Your name wasn't mentioned anymore, and no one explained why. It wasn't rejection. It was worse than that. It was being forgotten while you were still there. You kept showing up, still hoping, still checking, still waiting for a moment that had already passed. And the hardest part? You didn't do anything wrong. No argument to point to, no mistake to fix, no apology that could rewind time. Things just ended, quietly. And you were left standing in the same place everyone else had already walked away from. If you've ever felt that, this isn't coincidence. Stay, just for a moment longer. You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep, but because rest hasn't reached you in a long time. That kind of tired that's already there before the day even begins. Still, you get up. You always do. You tell yourself, just one more try. Just one more day of effort. One more push. Because stopping feels worse than hoping. The room is quiet. Too clean. Too empty. There's no noise to distract you from your thoughts. No proof that anything changed overnight. You check your phone. It lights up. For a second, there's hope. Then, nothing that actually matters. No message that says you're getting closer. No sign that your effort is landing anywhere. Just light. Then silence again. So you keep moving. You do what's expected. You show up. You give more than you have, even when no one seems to notice, even when results don't show. And you quietly wonder if effort is supposed to feel this heavy. Nights stretch longer than they should. The world falls asleep while your mind stays awake, replaying everything. What you did, what you didn't do, what you could have done better. And somewhere along the way, others seem to move ahead. Not loudly, not cruelly, just forward. You see it in small ways. Momentum, ease, progress. As if life is responding to them. You don't feel angry, just confused. Because you're trying too. Because you haven't stopped. So the question forms quietly. Why not me? Mornings arrive softly now. Before the world asks anything of you, the thought returns, what's wrong with me? And that's what hurts most. Not failure, but effort without response. Giving and hearing nothing back. Trying and seeing no reflection of it anywhere. Still, you get up again. Not because you're strong, not because you're sure, but because you don't know what else to do. Time keeps moving. That's the strange part. The clock doesn't pause for confusion. Seconds pass. Minutes stack. Even when nothing else does. You're doing everything right. At least, everything you were told. Showing up early, staying late, choosing patience over impulse, following rules that promised results. But the world doesn't respond. No signal, no shift, no small confirmation. Just effort meeting silence. Messages get typed, then erased, typed again, softened, rewritten. Because maybe the wording is wrong. Maybe that's the problem. Some messages never get sent at all. They stay in drafts, unanswered before they even leave you. Plans get rewritten too, again and again. If this didn't work, maybe that will. If this path stalled, maybe another one won't. You rearrange the future like it should make sense by now. Nothing changes, and the thoughts turn sharp. Maybe I chose wrong. Maybe I waited too long. Maybe I should change everything. You push harder, more effort, more urgency, as if intensity might force an answer out of a world that refuses to speak. And the most dangerous thought appears, quietly. What if trying is the problem? There's a moment that always comes. It doesn't announce itself, it just arrives. This is usually where you do something, send the message, make the call, force movement. Your hands hover. Walking away feels tempting, not dramatically, just quietly. So does doing something drastic, saying the thing you've been holding back, forcing a reaction, because at least then there would be proof. Proof that this wasn't all for nothing. You think about quitting, not out of weakness, out of exhaustion, the kind that doesn't ask for rest, it asks for relief. You wonder what would happen if you stopped trying. Would everything fall apart, or would it stay exactly the same? Nothing happens yet, and somehow that's unbearable. Have you ever wondered why nothing is working? Why the harder you try, the quieter everything becomes? And yet, something in you doesn't let go. Not because you're fearless, but because the dream is too big to abandon quietly. Then a strange thought appears. Not advice, not comfort, just a sentence you once heard. Sometimes, life doesn't respond to pursuit. Sometimes, it responds to stillness. So you don't send the message. You don't rewrite the plan. You just stop. You sit, not waiting, not expecting, just sitting where you are. The room stays the same. Light moves across the floor, unnoticed before, unimportant before. You breathe. No goal attached, no outcome imagined, and something subtle happens. The tension loosens. For the first time in a long while, you're not reaching forward or replaying the past. You're just here, and it doesn't feel like failure. It feels like space. Nothing rushes in. But later, a message arrives. Not urgent, not dramatic, almost casual. A door opens quietly, not the one you kept pushing, another one, slightly to the side. And you realize something. The silence wasn't absence, it was alignment. Things weren't refusing you, they just weren't ready to move on demand. Looking back, the delays make sense. The closed doors, the unanswered moments. Not mistakes, just timing you couldn't see while you were standing too close. Life is moving again, and this time, you aren't chasing it. If you're still here, maybe this felt familiar. The effort, the tiredness that comes from doing too much for too long. Maybe you've been trying to fix what isn't broken, or chasing clarity that needs space to form. You don't have to answer anything right now. Just notice where you've been pushing. What if nothing is missing? What if stillness isn't the opposite of progress, but a step you haven't allowed yourself to take? You've already done enough to prove you care. Maybe the next shift doesn't need more effort. Maybe it needs less interference. And maybe the moment everything changes doesn't begin with pushing it there, but with letting it arrive in its own time. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. Until next time, breathe.